relatively. Thursday, it did rain a little bit here and there for about like 10, 20 minutes, but that's all right. We're here on July 22nd, 2021, and we are just 14 days, yes, that's right, folks, 14 days away from some NFL football, okay? And that is this year's Hall of Fame game, which will start preseason between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I get that a lot of people don't really, not necessarily don't like it, but don't enjoy preseason, but I enjoy it, okay, quite a bit. Now, preseason gives you an opportunity to, see if the guys that your team drafted really have what it takes to play NFL football. And for a lot of those guys, okay, it could very well be the last time they even take step on a field. Okay, but for other guys, it could be, they could be on their way to NFL stardom as we know it. All right, but I really enjoy the preseason just to see what these guys have, see if the backups are worthy enough of, playing in the NFL if one of your starters goes down and whatnot and stuff like that. But anyways, with that being said, hopefully you guys are ready to get to the world of football. Are you ready to get your fix? Well, before we get started, we have some pretty sad news. The other day, Greg Knapp, the Jets passing coordinator, was struck by a vehicle while riding his bike and spent a couple days in the hospital in severe condition. And today he actually passed away. So, all my condolences go to Greg's family, and hopefully everything kind of, starts to go down a little bit, starts, even out a little bit, I guess. And it's just a sad thing for them to have to go through at this point in time, especially with COVID right at its end, kind of, sort of, if you want to say it like that. But yeah, just a tragic story for them and the Jets and Greg's family. So my condolences go out to his family, and hopefully everything kind of gets better. So let's get started, okay? Now, there was some pretty interesting, this has been a pretty interesting week with some information, surrounding Aaron Rodgers and his situation with the Green Bay Packers. Okay, now Rodgers' current contract still holds him to the Green Bay Packers for the next 3 seasons, counting this year. So he's going to be there till the 2023 season unless he is, traded, cut, whatever. He's never going to be cut. Just throwing that out there right now, okay? It's Aaron fucking Rodgers. Get it? You get it, all right? So, according to Adam Schefter, during this offseason, the Packers offered Aaron Rodgers a 2-year contract extension that would have tied him to Green Bay for 5 more seasons, so till the 2025 season, I do believe. And that would have made him the highest paid quarterback and player in NFL football. Now, Rodgers ultimately declined that offer, okay? So who knows? Now, I feel like this was a no-brainer that he declined this, especially after Green Bay decided to keep Aaron Rodgers out of the loop when they traded up for Jordan Love. Okay, when they decided to go behind his back and not keep him in the loop of what players they were taking, when they were taking him, if they're going to get him weapons, and all that stuff. Okay, this is a no-brainer for Rodgers to decline this. Okay, this whole offseason, we've heard about him and Brian Gutekunst not getting along. Okay, Rodgers says, I'm not going to play with Brian. It's just not going to happen. I'd rather have new ownership. I like my team. I like my coaches and fans and all that, but never said anything about the GM. Okay, now the big thing Rodgers needed going into every draft, going into every season the last 2 or 3 years, was another weapon. Either a wide receiver or tight end. Get this guy something a little bit better than what he already has. Okay, year after year, the Packers head office or GM declined to do so. Declined to get him any other weapons besides Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. You can say Robert Tonyan's kind of a weapon now. He did play really, really well last year, getting, I think it was like 10 plus touchdowns or something like that. So now, after all this nonsense, Rodgers, like I said, he said he's not going to play for GM Brian Gutekunst. It's very understandable, especially when you don't tell your star quarterback your plans going forward. You don't keep him in your plans going forward. You don't say a word, okay? Very understandable for Rodgers' point of view, or from Rodgers' point of view. And then we go to the Pat McAfee show the other day, Now, it was reported that Aaron Rodgers had his house deep cleaned, okay, and renewed his country club membership. Well, this was a lie, okay. Rodgers did have his house deep cleaned, but only by his personal cleaner. And Aaron Rodgers actually texted Pat McAfee this, and it was on his show, I think yesterday or something like that. And he also did not renew his club or country club membership, but it was renewed because it was an automatic renewal. Okay? So I'm really not sure what to expect going forward, because if he had his house deep clean, that could mean two things. For starters, he's getting ready to return once training camp gets underway. And I think we are about a week away from training camp, not even. I think it starts like next Monday for a lot of teams. Some have already started. I believe the Rams have already started. I believe the Cowboys have already started. And I think Steelers might have already started. So there's a couple teams out there that have already, begun training camp. Okay? And the other reason, or the other thing, now that he had his house deep clean and stuff, he had it clean because he wanted to put it on the market so he could be traded out of Green Bay. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. Okay, that's just an option, or that's one of the things that could be on the table. And we've all heard this. Okay, does Aaron Rodgers want to stay in Green Bay? We don't know. Is he going to be a Green Bay Packer? We don't know. Okay. Now, honestly, I believe Rodgers is going to be a Packer this upcoming season, because it is getting late into the offseason with training camp literally less than a week away for most NFL teams. But if Aaron Rodgers really wants out, okay, he's done a few things to make sure he can request a trade, like clean his house, get it ready to put on the market, and all this kind of stuff. Okay, that country club membership thing, an auto renewal, he has all the money in the world. The dude doesn't care. All he has to do is cancel it and not have to pay for it from this point on, pretty much. Okay, he can just pay for this year that's already automatic renewed, and then so be it. Okay, so he has done the things to put him in that position. Okay, he declined a huge contract extension in which I don't know the exact numbers of what it had to be, and he had his house deep cleaned. If Rodgers is traded, there are three teams in mind that I could see Rodgers heading to. Okay, the first would be the Las Vegas Raiders. They have a lot of talent at wide receiver and a very solid backfield with Josh Jacobs. Their defense is, hit or miss a little bit, but they still have a solid enough defense to make a run. But again, they got to play the Chiefs twice a season. They got to play the Chargers twice, Broncos twice. Broncos are, not as high of a caliber, but still. And then the other team, which leads me to the Denver Broncos, obviously is the Denver Broncos, okay? Just like the Raiders, they have a lot of talent at wide receiver and tight end, okay? They got Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant. Their running backs are pretty decent. I believe they got, I don't think Phillip Lindsay's still there, but they got some pieces, okay, to work with in Denver, especially with that defense with Von Miller back healthy, Bradley Chubb's still there. They have a decent defensive line. Their corners have always been somewhat solid. Okay, they have the players, okay, and they have a pretty solid defense, like I said, when you look at it on paper. Now, the toughest part about playing in both those places would be having to play Kansas City twice, okay? Because, Kansas City back-to-back years have been to the Super Bowl, only won one, but their firepower, their explosiveness, the way they can run up the score in a blink of an eye is just crazy. It's going to be tough if Rodgers goes to one of those players. But it would be one hell of a couple matchups to watch, that's for sure, because Rodgers, we know what he's... the dude's a magic man out there, okay? He could be down 14-plus points, and he can come out of nowhere, and he can win. Okay, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. And then the third team that I thought of yesterday, actually, would be the Washington football team. I know, they just signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay? But who would you rather have? Rodgers or Fitzpatrick? Hopefully all of you guys are smart out there. Definitely Rodgers. You look at what Washington has. If Rodgers goes to Washington, oh boy, we could see Washington make a very, very deep playoff run. That defensive line, that front four, is absolutely crazy with Chase Young and Montez Sweat at the ends. Then you look at their linebackers with Kerrigan's not there. But they got some solid linebackers, and then they got their corners. Fuller's over there. I think it's Kyle Fuller. They are solid. Very, very good. They got offensive weapons up the yin-yang with Terry McLaurin. The running backs are fine. They have what it takes to take that next step if Rodgers goes to that organization. Okay, put Rodgers in the Washington football team, and I promise you the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants are going to have one hell of a time trying to win a goddamn game there. I'm telling you, Rodgers, Washington seems like a beautiful fit. But so do the Denver Broncos and Las Vegas Raiders. So for now, okay, Aaron Rodgers is still a Green Bay Packer. And until I receive more information, that is where I believe he will play this upcoming season. Okay, I don't see him going anywhere else at this point. If it happens, I doubt it's going to happen during the season. I feel like there's too much on the line, especially with the Super Bowl on the line. And he's went 13-3 the last 2 years, folks. NFC Championship the last 2 years. Dude has what it takes to be great. Okay? So we'll see where that kind of takes place. Excuse me, not NFC Championship the last 2 years. They lost before the NFC Championship, I think, to the Niners. So, but yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Green Bay Packer for now. Okay, there's still time to make a trade. There's still time to put the pieces of the puzzle together and stuff like that. But for now, Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers. That is my opinion. So enough on Mr. Rodgers. Let's get to the 49ers All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner, who just signed a massive contract extension yesterday. Now, Warner and the 49ers agreed to a 5-year extension that will tie him to San Francisco through the 2026 season. Now, reminder, he was a third-round pick from BYU not too long ago, and this extension is now worth $95 million, including $40.5 million guaranteed. Huge, huge money for the former third-round pick. Very big money. Okay, with this extension, Fred Warner is now the highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL, at least for now, until Colts linebacker Darius Leonard ends up getting his extension, because let's be honest, Darius Leonard is a freak, absolute freak of nature, okay? He's going to get his extension sooner or later. But for now, Fred Warner is that leading guy, highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL. Now, Warner will also make more than Seattle's Bobby Wagner. You got C.J. Mosley, you got Zach Cunningham, Miles Jack, and Deion Jones. All high-caliber linebackers. And Fred Warner makes more than them. Now, Bobby Wagner, he is getting up there in age, but he's still playing at a very, very high caliber, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets an extension here in the next couple years as well. Okay? But still, to make more money than those names is crazy. This is more than well-deserved for Fred Warner, as he has been a menace on that 49ers defense the past 3 seasons. Okay? In 2018, he had 124 tackles. In 2019, 118 tackles, 3 sacks, and a pick. And then last season, he had 125 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 interceptions. All I got to say is that man flat out flies the ball every single play. He is one of the best linebackers in the league when it comes to stopping the run game. And I have no doubt that this man will continue to dominate each and every week. I mean, 120-plus tackles. Damn near 3 years that he's been in the league. Okay? That's what he averages at over 120. Okay, you're going to get at least 1 or 2 sacks. You're at least you have the possibility of getting at least 1 interception with Fred Warner out there. This dude is a freak of nature. Good luck running the ball, because he's going to be right there to stuff it, or he's going to cause a fumble, or he's going to create chaos, and that is what he has been very, very good at. Okay, and especially with the Niners last year, riddled with injuries, to be able to take a big part, or be a big part of that defense, 125 tackles, a sack, and 2 picks is huge, and they still made it really far. Or, no, they did not. But all kind of confused up here. Have to look at NFL updates all day long, so my brain is a little, if you will, but it's all right. Okay. The 49ers win healthy, and if they are healthy this year, especially with Fred Warner there, Nick Bosa, I mean, the list goes on. The 49ers are going to be very good. and they will continue to be good. I mean, they got Trey Lance on offense now. Who knows if he's going to start over Jimmy or if Jimmy's going to start over him. Their wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk, are looking pretty good, and all those guys. Okay, so just be aware. But this is a big, massive, well-deserved contract extension for linebacker Fred Warner. Well, since we're on the topic, of contract extensions, there's one guy who I'd assume is eagerly awaiting for his to come. That guy, ladies and gentlemen, is the Cleveland Browns quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Not Money Manziel, but Baker fucking Mayfield. He is looking and eagerly awaiting for his contract extension because he deserves it. Now, at the start of Baker's career, I was really kind of unsure if this dude would be the one. I think we were all there. We've seen the Cleveland Browns in the past quarterback, and throw them all in the garbage. They didn't work out. We thought Johnny Manziel was going to work out. We thought Deshaun Kaiser was going to work out. We thought Tyrod Taylor was going to work out until Baker Mayfield came and took that over. It happens. We were really unsure. At least I was too. Now, I mean, let's be real. The Browns have had, like I just said, one hell of a time trying to find a franchise quarterback. And that is what everyone in the NFL is really looking for. Let's get our franchise quarterback, and let's build around that. Let's get a guy who's going to lead us to the promised land and put the pieces to the puzzle where they should and belong. However, in Baker's rookie season, he had a record of 6-7 with 3,725 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. With 27 interceptions, starting to sound like Jameis Winston over there. No, I'm kidding. But 27 touchdowns. Baker broke the rookie record for most passing touchdowns in a single season at the time. Last year, it was broke by Justin Herbert. I believe he had 30. Maybe if it was a little bit above. I'm pretty sure. I know it was 30 plus. But still, 27 touchdowns in your rookie year is a phenomenal amount. You don't expect your rookie to go out there and absolutely just tear it up. Granted, the record wasn't there. He still was damn near 500 for that season. 13 games, 6-7. Not bad. But we were unsure. Can this guy help the Browns win games? Didn't seem like it. But he did. 3,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, and only 14 picks. That's something. That's something to look at, and keep in mind. But I do think the time has officially come for Baker Mayfield to receive a massive extension. This is their guy, and if they don't think so, and if they want to get rid of him, they are right back in trouble, folks. Regardless if you have Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, David Njoku, Austin Hooper, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, that young, incredible offensive line, that whole defense, that team is in trouble if they don't do this. I believe Baker's going to be a Brown for quite some time, and he deserves this massive contract extension. Because he's proven to not only us as football fans, but the entire city of Cleveland and their fans, like Logan Baumgart, who is a die-hard Cleveland Browns fan. Kudos to you. I'm hoping to go to their game this year. I know he's already going. Wicks Browns at US Bank Stadium. We'll see what happens there. But he's proven, like I said, to us as fans, to the city of Cleveland, that he is their guy going forward for at least 5 years, and probably more. This guy is there to play football and is only getting better, only maturing ever so greatly year after year and getting better. I mean, Baker led the Browns to an 11-5 record last year and sent the Browns to the wild card round to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who would have thought we would see the Cleveland Browns in a playoff, or in the playoffs? Nobody. We thought the Browns were pretty much a lost cause like the New York Jets. Not entirely a lost cause, but we didn't think they were what they are, especially last year. Now, they do have a lot of talent, and right off the bat, when they did get Odell Beckham Jr., they got all these superstars, all these weapons. We're like, this is going to pan out, and then it didn't right away. Well, you got to realize you got to build chemistry. You got to get them going. You got to get them on the same page. You got to have these playbooks, and their head coaches keep changing. I mean, what is his name? Freddie Kitchens last year, just awful coach. Was more of a friend, or like to screw around a lot. Didn't care too much about coaching, it seemed. And then you bring in Kevin Stefanski. Dude means business. Dude wants winners. And he got winners. 11-5 record, playoff berth against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns were already 1-1 against the Steelers in regular season play. The first game they got trampled on by the Steelers because the Steelers did go on that 11-0 stretch. But then later on in the season, they beat them. So now it's 1-1. Okay, this is the grudge match right here. Best out of 3. Who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it? You never know. Well, the Cleveland Browns ultimately ended up beating a bunch of TikTok stars 24-22 in the wild card game to advance, in which they went on to ultimately lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, who did end up going to the Super Bowl and losing to my guy Brady, Tom fucking Brady. Because, 7. That's all I gotta say. 7. The dude, you got Brady in the Super Bowl. Good luck. And the Eagles beat him, and, Eli Manning beat him twice, so it is what it is. But it's Tom fucking Brady. Okay? Tom fucking Brady. But in that loss to the Chiefs, the Browns still put up an incredible fight, only losing 22-17, a one-possession game. They were right there till the very end. They had an opportunity to go further. This is a Browns team that is not one to take lightly. Okay, especially since they're all on the same page, especially since they got their coach right, their quarterback right, their wide receivers right, their tight end, their offensive line, their defense. This team, they're looking like a bunch of superstars. These guys are good. And we got to start noticing that they are good. We got to start realizing that they are good. And they're not going to lose that many games. Okay, if they do, call me wrong. But this Cleveland Browns team is stacked. And a lot of experts in the field are saying Cleveland Browns are going to win their division, including myself. They will. It won't be easy. You still got the Steelers, you still got the Ravens. I'm not sure how the Bengals will do. I don't see them doing that well. Definitely in the bottom 10 of the whole NFL, all 32 teams. But it's going to be a tough one. They have a tough schedule. But I still have them winning their division. Okay? Now, Baker Mayfield definitely deserves a contract extension, because you are going to get nothing but the best out of him. Okay, Baker has nearly averaged about 3,600 yards, about 23 to 24 touchdowns a season. Okay, and his interceptions have really dropped significantly. Okay, his first year at 14, his next year I think he had like 21 or 22, and then last season he only had 8. 8. Okay, single digits, folks. That's better than double digits. Okay, he's going to continuously get better. Hopefully it's not like the Kirk Cousins situation where he gets similar stats every single goddamn year and just can't win the big game. Can't win any big games. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, 4,000 plus yards, 25 touchdowns, 12 to 15 picks every year with good teams. Here and there with Washington, and he can't do nothing. Granted, last year the Vikings defense, they were young, no experience, got burned quite a bit. We had a couple people opt out, so it's going to be a different year. But back to Baker. Baker deserves this contract extension. Whether that comes halfway through this year, at the end of this year, who knows? But he's going to get one from the Cleveland Browns. I have that deep in my heart, in my gut, that he is going to get paid. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks so. So, the Cleveland Browns need to go out and give this guy some more fucking money before time runs out. But they will. Okay, it's a no-brainer. I'm pretty positive this deal will get done. When that is, fuck if I know. I don't know. I'm not no GM. I'm not no, mind reader. Or I can't see into the future and stuff like that. I'm not that so Raven, and now you're just. He's gonna get a contract extension June 24th. Even though June 24th was last month, so see, can't read minds, but that's okay. All right, but Baker is going to get paid, and he's going to get paid big fucking money. So be ready for that. Now, there has been a couple more developments today with surrounding the NFL and the NFLPA Association. Pretty much saying that if they are, so if one team gets affected with the COVID-19 virus, and is unable to reschedule their game, because they're not going to add in week 19 at all. If they're unable to reschedule their game, the team that got infected with COVID forfeits, and if they make the playoffs, it'll count as a loss, like when they're trying to put them in the bracket for playoffs. And right now, I think it's like 75% of the whole league has at least one shot, and I think I can't even remember what the exact number, but this is huge. Because let's say you're supposed to be playing Monday Night Football, and you guys you guys get infected with COVID, you guys can't play, and you try to reschedule it and it just doesn't work out. Well, let's say if it's the Minnesota Vikings that got infected playing fucking Tampa Bay, well, Minnesota forfeits that game, and it counts as a loss. It's huge. It's pretty much like it's like the NFL's trying to say, forcing athletes to go get the vaccine without really saying, without really enforcing it. They're like, hey, you should go get that vaccine because if you get infected, you forfeit. And a lot of people are pissed. A lot of people are pissed about that because, granted, it is their decision. Ultimately, it is their decision to decide whether or not they want the vaccine, or they want to, sit out and opt out. The opt out period is already gone in a way, but this is some big news, because if we see forfeits, we're going to see a lot of upset fans, players, coaches, organizations. It is going to be hell, and especially with fans coming to stadiums and being full capacity, full bore, going out there, anything can happen. Literally anything. And that means, I hate the fact that the NFL is putting players in this situation to, if they're the ones that get infected and they didn't get the vaccine, their team relies on them. And it sucks that it has to go right back to that person that got infected and all that. So that's some big, big news. We'll continue to see how this story develops and whatnot and see what else they have agreed upon COVID-19 wise and other situation and information surrounding the NFL. But for now, that is the information that I have been seeing. DeAndre Hopkins wasn't happy with it. Marlon Humphrey, I don't think, was happy with it. Or no, sorry, not Marlon Humphrey. Matt Judon was not happy with it. So there's a lot of things and situations going around that are just, how the cookie crumbles, and we'll see how that goes from there. Well, that is all I got for you guys today and this week. And it definitely has been a good one for news-wise, at least. We have a lot of good information. Training camp starting to, kick up. Hard Knocks is, I think that premieres, I know it's right away in August. I think it's August 10th it premieres or something like that, because what they do is they film it, and then they go back and fix it up a little bit, and then they post it, and it'll go week by week, and it'll be nice. It'll be a good little thing to watch and see how that all unfolds. So that's awesome. But again, I will be posting about the Get Your Fix Fantasy Football League tomorrow. So stay ready for that, as I will need, obviously, some people to fucking join and be ready to play some football. And you will hear about the stipulation tomorrow as well on the post. But I think we're looking at about 8 players, counting myself, so I need 7 more. I have a couple already that have talked to me personally, that I know personally, and have already decided to be in this league. We'll get to that. So just be ready for that. Anyways, with that being said, have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful weekend because, hey, it's going to be a good one, folks. It's going to be a great weekend. Okay? So with that being said, we'll see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. like all fucking ways. And you just got your fix with Wicks. Thank you guys. And